Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Between the Sticks. I'm Sahib. This right here is Nabil, as you guys know by now. And welcome to our first finals episode of 2025, Nabil.
It's very exciting.
Absolutely.
Love this time of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody gets excited. September's come around. The weather's getting great, even though Melbourne's weather's been absolutely horrible the last couple of days and probably for
Still
this
working
week.
itself out.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, a big thank you and a big shout out to everybody for all your love and support, all the tuning in, all the likes, all the sharing. Definitely don't forget to do all that and keep doing all that.
I'm sure they will by now.
Absolutely.
And Sahib,
Yes.
starting off this week, it's something I've been thinking about on one of my many long drives.
Okay.
Tell me your worst heartbreak as a fan.
Oh,
We'll start there.
my worst heartbreak
Worst
as a fan.
heartbreak as a fan.
Are we including grand finals?
You can go wherever you like.
As you know, my hate for Geelong is very, very strong.
There's a lot of stories there.
The 2011 grand final.
Yes.
I think that was at the top of. We played well that year. We were a great team. We only lost 3 games.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about this a little later on. And all 3 of those games were to Geelong.
Is there a specific moment in that grand final?
Yes. Tom Hawkins, when he kicked his second goal. And you're laughing because you were there and you remember seeing how
I was at the house.
frustrated and angry I was that
barbecue.
day. Yeah, Tom Hawkins, it was almost his coming of moment
It was.
game. And yeah, when he kicked that second goal off the floor, Ben Reed slipped over. I said, there's nobody and nothing I hate more on this earth right now than Geelong and this team. So my worst heartbreak I would say 2018 too, but I also think 2018 was a bit of no one expected us to be where we were. I didn't think we expected to be there. So it was a bit of a surprise. It still hurts, but I don't think it hurts as much as the 11 grand final. Oh boy, I hate Geelong. Yourself?
Ooh. There's one obvious one.
I could be the only one answering that question.
Jamie Elliott. Jamie Elliott in 2022. I remember I got a ticket for that game last minute, and I was in Tassie. I was in Tassie, and I paid a ridiculous amount of money for flights to fly over. Ridiculous one, nearly $1,000 from Melbourne to.
Damn.
My parents would kill me if they're hearing this. But flew over, and then I think it's the only time I've cried at a Carlton at the footy match. And
I mean, listen,
my hatred for Collingwood was cemented.
Do you think your hatred is as bad as mine for Geelong?
I don't know. Mine's deep, man. It's in my DNA. So,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was happy that day.
I was so happy. It was like 3/4 time. We're up by 4 goals. It's done. We're playing finals, and then
that's when
that moment. Just on that special shout out as well, in that worst heartbreak. I do have another one. I'm gonna go back to 2011. It was a semi-final against West Coast, and I swear by this to any Carlton supporters, Andrew Walker was held in the forward line.
I was gonna say, I'm glad it wasn't another Collingwood moment.
No, but that Collingwood one is hands. I've got a photo. We'll put it up on the socials of a friend of mine caught me in shedding a quiet tear.
Oh, I understand.
In the stands. So
did we FaceTime you as soon as that game ended? That day?
You did. It was a disaster, man.
I get what you're saying, but yeah, our worst heartbreak. I don't hope to experience that shit again. It's not fun, especially because of how passionate we are. So
it makes you question all of life's decisions.
Yeah, I'm just like, why did you do it? Why did you kick it? What? Anyways, I don't get paid enough for that shit. Let's get this week's episode underway. And considering that there was no games on the weekend, we decided this week that we'll do a bit of a chat about our seasons in review for Carlton and Collingwood.
Yes.
And in general, but we'll get to that a little later. So we'll start off with the Carlton and Collingwood stuff. And I'll let you start us off with Carlton.
Start us off with Carlton. Now, the problem with the Carlton started in the preseason. We had Jagger Smith, pick 3, went down with an ACL in a practice game.
Yep.
We lost Nick Newman to a knee.
Yeah.
The president, Luke Sayers, there was a photo that was published on Twitter. I'll let the viewers do their research.
Have a look at that, yep.
But it was a very inappropriate photo. So we lost the president. We lost our gun midfielder, pick 3. And probably one of our most important leaders down back in Nick Newman. So the signs were there. Premonition, we go into round 1. We're up by 41 points against Richmond. I was thinking, yes, Carlton for premierships. I've got all the statuses ready. Got the Instagram post ready. Got a Facebook post ready. And then disaster struck. So that's where it started. But nevertheless, I held hope. I was like, cool, we'll bounce back the next week. The next week was a disaster. I think we played the Bulldogs. I can't even remember who we played. We lost again. We lost round 3. And then we went to Collingwood. We were like, cool, we're going to start. I ran a big Instagram post again. This is the day our season starts. I went to the game.
We did.
Just disaster.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, ask away.
Were your thoughts or your idea around how Carlton was going to go this year actually that you guys were good enough to win, to play and win?
100%. 100%
or
believe.
was it a situation of just like, I really want them to?
No. There was 100% belief. And okay. I know I sound delusional, but there was this belief after 2023, after 2024, where we played well for the majority of the season, and then we just had a bunch of injuries and everything fell apart.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, the pieces will click and this will be it.
Yeah.
And then I think once we lost to Collingwood, I was like, okay, the wheels are going to fall off. And then I think we played Geelong off the top of my head, or we won a couple of games. We beat North and West Coast. And I was like, yeah. Then we played Geelong.
I was about to go on. I'll let you talk about that Geelong game.
We beat Geelong. We beat Geelong. It was a Sunday. I remember I went to a wedding and I was watching the game at the wedding and sort of on my phone, just as I do at any event, just taking every moment I could throughout the day.
Yep.
Funny about that, I asked the host Wi-Fi, because there was no Wi-Fi in the area. I asked the host, give me a Wi-Fi password, I need to watch the footy.
Yeah.
And he was very generous enough to provide it, and I got to watch the footy. But that Geelong game, I was like, okay, we're back with a real deal. And then the rest of the season unfolded as it did, and here we are.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you actually saying that you guys were going to beat Geelong before that game even happened.
Yeah,
you were very confident. Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand where this confidence is coming from. You guys have been playing that well. And you said, no, we're definitely beating Geelong. We're getting over the line against them. And you did. Yeah,
we play well against Geelong. We beat them last year. I don't know. They've, for a long time in the 2000s, they've always belted us. They've belted us badly. But the last few seasons...
So we all have Geelong trauma.
Yeah, we do. We do have a clear Geelong trauma. They've belted us in many different ways.
Yeah.
But the last couple of seasons, I thought we matched up well against them.
Yeah.
So that's where the confidence came in.
Yeah.
I think the 2 games that broke me throughout the season, the North game. That was...
That was one of the funniest afternoons or weekends that I've lived through this year.
Destroyed me.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't hilarious for you, but it was hilarious for the rest of us.
The group chat was going off, and and then after that, I was like, cool, it was just a bad game. And then we go to Port Adelaide, and that Port Adelaide game that led to the rant on the podcast the week after. And
can I just remind you what you said before that North game?
What did I say?
You said we're gonna belt them by 10 goals.
Yeah,
Charlie and Harry are going to kick 7 goals or whatever each, and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And I was just like, we'll see about it.
We'll see. None of that transpired.
Did the TDK saga and his contract issues and all that rubbish actually, do you feel like it had an effect on
that's a good question. And,
the season?
That's a good question. And I've done some reflecting on that. I don't know if that had an impact. I don't know whether it was the pressure of expectation that the club and the players couldn't live up to.
Yep.
You've got a fan base who's hungry for success and is expecting success.
And hasn't had it
for a long time. And you saw that in the North game, the anger. And even on...
When I saw that poor kid crying.
Yeah, that poor kid crying. So
I said, damn. I said,
generational trauma, bro.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was all of that. And you had all this pressure on the club. There was graffiti spread over the club. It was SEN and 3AW were having a field day.
The media was eating that shit up.
They were loving it. So it was just bubbling, and it burst, I think, after the North game and even the Port Adelaide game. So they just, you know what? Under pressure, they went to water as a football club, not even as players, as a football club. So,
because like Patrick Cripps was a Brownlow medalist last year.
He was.
His drop has been crazy. His drop off has been actually horrible.
Huge.
TDK wasn't that great this year. He had maybe a couple of...
Walsh was injured.
Walsh was injured. Charlie's been in and out of form.
Mackay couldn't get on the field.
Mackay was injured. So
a lot of issues.
Wiedering was very average for most of the year. So a lot of your like key big name players actually couldn't perform the way they needed to.
And we didn't have that depth. We had that depth in 23 with players like Cunningham and Martin to a degree, and even Marchbank. We didn't have that depth. So once our star players crumbled, the rest of the team just followed. So think we'll leave Carlton there. You can tell I'm just
You're
worn
done.
out,
You're just
bro.
exhausted.
Worn out. I'm looking forward to finals.
Genuinely though, on a scale of 1 to 10, how like relieved were you when the season was done?
Solid 8.
Solid 8.
It was a whirlwind of emotions. I was just I needed a break. Yeah, I can just focus on finals. Focus on 8 other teams. Give us your Collingwood season review. I'm interested in this one.
I'll be honest with you, and this is probably the first time I'll say this on camera.
Ooh.
I wasn't actually as confident that we were going to perform well.
Okay.
Before the season started. Now, I obviously wasn't feeding into the whole, you guys are too old.
Yeah,
too
you never
slow,
bought that.
You guys are rubbish, blah, blah, blah. There was an element of that where I was just like, are we like going to be able to keep up the whole season? Are we not? So, yeah.
At the start of the season, on that start of the season, the GWS game, which is what I want to start with.
Yep.
Did your views change on Collingwood? Did you think, actually, we might be a bottom 4 club?
I didn't think we were going to be a bottom 4 club, but I thought we were going to go into a bit of where we were last year, where we were playing okay footy sometimes, but we were struggling. And last year, I just season 2024, I just amounted it to shorter preseason, not a premiership hangover per se, because it was like a 7 or 8 week block where we didn't lose a game then as well. But it was just more so like shorter preseason, a lot of injuries last year to key players. There was just a whole bunch of movement. There was I think our CEO or our football operations guy was on holiday for like 6 months during the season. I'm just like, you guys are running a circus, bro. It's not a club at this point.
Justin Leppich and Brendan Bolton changed roles as well.
Roles in the middle. So it was just so many. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe this might be another one of those average seasons where we might be like a mid-table team. We might finish somewhere between 5th and like 10th or something. We might make finals, because I'm just like, the list that won the premiership is still the same list now. So I don't think we're that much worse. After GWS game, I'm just like, oh shit, maybe like people were right about us being too slow and too...
The media latched onto that quick. And
it's Collingwood, so any small thing would just be blown out of proportion.
It was the takes where Collingwood are finished.
Basically that. So when that happened, I'm just like, okay, I'm like, set your hope, set no expectations, set your hopes at like a medium level, like range, because who knows what's going to happen this year. And then we went out the next week and belted Port by 90 points. I'm just like, what the hell
No one
is going
saw that
on?
coming.
So I was just as shocked the week we belted Port, as I was the week we got belted by GWS. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know where the hell this team stands, you know? And then I don't remember who we played round.
Bulldogs, was it?
Maybe Bulldogs.
At Marvel, I think.
Yeah, so
round 3.
We kind of just scraped across the line with them. We beat them by, I think it was a goal.
Yep.
I think up until the Brisbane game, I didn't actually believe we were like going to have a great season. Once we belted Brisbane, I'm just like, oh shit, Brisbane are having... No, honestly, I just thought Brisbane are having either as shit as a season as they did last year, because they started last year off zipping 3 like we did.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh, maybe Brisbane are going through what we went through last year. So when we belted them, and then we belted, I think we had like Brisbane, Sydney, Anzac Day, Hawthorn or Adelaide or something.
It was a tough run.
It was like a month of like,
We discussed this, I remember at the time. I think we went to the Carlton Hawthorn game. Yeah. And we talked about Collingwood's run. And we talked about those games.
So when we won all of those games, I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe like this team is actually serious this year. Like maybe the whole too old, too slow story is bullshit, and like the experience and the ability to like play well as a unit and as a system and all that kind of stuff. And I think what surprised me more was like the not so high caliber players in our team playing well. The Billy Framptons, the Jack Crisps, like
so those
just
mid-level players that have stepped
that we
up.
thought were just like, oh, okay, guys, like the Perrymans that came in and Lipinski and all these guys were playing. Like obviously
Schultz and
McCreary and these guys, like the clog was just ticking, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like they found the perfect balance between senior and youth. The senior guys, Sidebottom started the season on fire.
Yes,
Pendlebury was having a great time. Myercheck was on the board. Elliott was kicking bags of 4 and 5 every week.
I could not believe that with Elliott.
So
when injury prone and inconsistent with form almost his whole career.
Yep.
But this year's been that first run
most
of
consistent.
Kicking goals on the run, kicking goals by taking big marks.
Yep.
Accurate.
Yep.
All
of the above, literally, yeah.
And he's giving me PTSD, but Flowers is Jewish Flowers. His Jewish Flowers.
So when I saw all that, I'm just like, okay, like we're actually a proper premiership contender. And then I think once we hit top spot and we were there for like 4, 5, 6 weeks, I said, this is 23 all over again. Like, we're sorted now. Like, I'm not. At that point, that's when I'm like, I think maybe after we beat Hawthorn by like 40 or 50 points, I'm just like, we're the real deal. We're sorted. Like, we're not going to have a problem. And then, like up until maybe even after that, like the St Kilda West Coast games, we kind of fell off a bit. We didn't belt them the way people thought.
And then the back half of the season.
And then once we got to the Carlton game, the second time round, and we belted you guys, I'm just like, oh, okay, like, it's cemented. Like, these
Grand
guys
final.
are, like, genuinely at that point, I remember, like, everybody in the footy landscape's like, yep, we'll see these guys on the last Saturday in September, sorted, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll be honest, and I said this long before it happened. I said if there was a game we were going to lose, it was going to be the Gold Coast game and the Adelaide game back half of the year. For some reason, there's some voodoo we have when it comes to the Gold Coast game up in Gold Coast.
I remember
every single year we play them up there, we lose. So I'm just like, maybe that's the game. Like, we were due for a loss. You know, like everybody's just like, there's no way these guys are going to continue going, going to run.
You and Brother Wads were talking about it on the podcast as well.
Yes, exactly that. So when we went up there and we lost, the loss wasn't so much my worry.
Yeah.
When we went the first half without scoring,
0
I said,
goals.
what the hell is going on? And we did the same thing in 23.
Yeah.
We played, if I'm not mistaken, Port in a top of the table clash that year. We beat them in Adelaide Oval. Then we came the next week and we just flattened out against Carlton. We went to that game and I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, and I thought it was the same thing. So when we lost to Gold Coast in Freo, I'm just like, I said, maybe this is a repeat of 23 where we kind of lose form in the last like couple of weeks of the season. And then we had Richmond. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Like,
it was a nice win,
I didn't even rate that win because it's Richmond, because I'm just like, you're not actually competing against an actual team. Then we got belted by Brisbane, and Hawthorn, and I'm just like, like we have real problems now. Like, we actually, that's when it kind of.
And then it was like, maybe not that good.
Not only that, I'm just like, maybe the season's finally taking its toll on us. Like, maybe the guys
too
are
old, too slow.
Yeah, like
media came, like magpies, like crows.
Literally, I'm just like,
came after Collingwood.
I'm just like, maybe everybody was right at the beginning of the season, and I didn't understand how we went from belting someone one week to completely losing, dropping off the net. I'm just like, what happened? Something went wrong. So that, I think the older guys have stepped up.
They
honestly.
have. Pendles has had a great year. Sidebottoms
had
even
a great year.
Even if they were 22, 23, they would have been considered to have a great year, let alone their age. So I
think the one thing that has hurt us a lot has been Jeremy Howe.
Yeah, I know. Year. And look, you've been saying this for 12 weeks now. Literally 12 weeks. You said this since episode 1.
Yep. And I didn't realize how important a 35-year-old was going to be to our team.
You called it from our first episode on Jeremy Howe, and 13 weeks later, you're singing from the same song. So
so to me, that's how the season went. If you're asking me how I feel about Collingwood right now,
in one sentence,
I have hope, but I'm not setting my expectations anywhere.
That's fair.
Only because I'd rather
live with the hope,
disappointment, and you won't be disappointed.
Let the emotions run on.
Absolutely.
That's footy.
But yeah, that's kind of my point of view, or like my, I guess you could say, idea of a review for Collingwood season. We'll keep it moving.
Yes.
And obviously because there was no games this week, there's no top team or flop team of the week, so we're gonna have to skip on your favorite segment.
No. We'll be back next week.
Absolutely. What we will talk about this week, though, is a bit of an adventure we went on late last week, which was the EJ Whitten
Legends Game.
Thursday, which we had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, so featured some influencers, some AFLW players, Kate McCarthy, Aaron Phillips, and plenty of ex-AFL stars.
Yep.
It was good to see Andrew McLeod.
Yes.
He's one of my favourite players.
One of the fittest people on that field too.
He was just gliding across the ground, and I'm always a fan of Andrew McLeod, and just watching him play.
Absolutely.
I never got to watch him play in real life as a kid, but even watching him play as a 50-year-old, you're like, oh, no wonder this guy was such a star.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I think it wasn't my first time going, but I couldn't remember the last time I went, but it was very interesting to see the way the crowd was kind of divided. I think we talked about this off camera. A lot of the kids, meaning the younger generation of,
say, maybe
like 18 and younger,
23, 22 or younger, even, 18 younger.
We're kind of there to see and enjoy, I guess, the
They were there to see 3 people: Daniel Gorringe, Ollie Gill, and Prime Train.
Prime
Train, yeah.
Yeah, so like they were all there to like to see those guys.
No one knew most of the players. It was only I think the two of us were explaining to your brother, who's 16.
Who's 16, yeah.
We were explaining to him who's Hayden Ballantyne and who's Steve.
Who's Bob Murphy,
Stevie J, and all these stars, Andrew McLeod, and we were explaining to them, these guys are legends of the game.
And I think that's what excited us more. I think that's what excited us more, like to see these like retired legends that we watched playing as kids growing up, seeing them run out on the park and have a piss take and see the Swans and Ablets and you know, all those
even
guys,
Stephen Milne and Fev
and all that, and like it was like a nostalgic like throwback moment in time for us. Whereas, like we said, a lot of the kids, a lot of the younger generation, they were just like, we want Dan Gorringe to kick the ball. We want this guy to do this. And I'm just like, I don't care about these guys.
He filled out 3 bays. He filled out a solid 3 bays, Daniel. I think the commentator said about 4,000 or 5,000 he brought by himself.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it was more than that.
Probably,
I'm going to say even up to 10,000.
Yeah.
The cheers were nuts for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it used to be a lot about the retired players and the legends,
the media personalities,
the media personalities and whatnot. Whereas now, I guess that has been replaced or partially replaced by influencers and by social media people.
And I think on that, I think football landscape is changing. People are in the past, right? When we were growing up, we only had the footy shows to watch. Our only content was before the game or the Sunday footy show or the Thursday footy show. Now. There's so much more football content out there, whether it's on YouTube, on Instagram, on
people like us.
Exactly. So especially young people, they don't want to watch TV.
They don't watch Kane Corns
and with ads.
John Ralph and all these guys on TV.
They don't care about that. They want content that's designed for them. In an accessible format. So,
and I think
it's changing. It's changing before our very eyes.
It's changing, and it's also like you could. I think that's what we're saying. You can see that difference in person when we're at that game. It's like, these kids are more interested in the TikTokers and the influencers and the Instagram guys and what's happening here, or what is this guy doing, what's content's going to come out of this tomorrow. Whereas we're just like, hey, kick the ball to Fev. Like Gary Blue Jr., take a shot from 50. Like I saw that contrast difference in like even the crowd that were sitting around.
100%.
Like you said, my brother, when we talked to him, he's like, I had no idea who Hayden Ballantyne is or Easton Wood is or, you know, Trav Cloak is or any of these guys. Whereas we were just like, we were there for the players and the enjoyment of...
We're not that old. Like, we're not that old. We're still in our 20s.
But I think we're old enough that we remember all the things that happened in the early 2000s and the whole footy landscape, even back when this game was happening a couple of years back or before COVID and stuff like that.
It used to be on Channel 9.
Yep. Yeah. And it was wholly focused on ex-footy players, retired guys, big footy media personalities and whatnot like that. And maybe there'll be like a couple of like just general celebrities like Dave Hughes and Strawny.
Yeah,
and
Strawny was the influencer of our time.
That influence was basically with the footy shows and around
TV,
the clubs and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of...
That's great.
We had a great time.
We did some interviews.
We did, and that vlog will be coming out soon. We did drop a little reel or a little TikTok about that. So people can refer to. But yeah, that was fun. I think we had a great time with that. And then it kind of got us thinking.
On that note, yes. We were talking about a state of origin.
Which is
very, very similar.
Similar kind of.
Do you want us to tell the viewers a little bit about state of origin in football, and then we'll sort of kick off? Or?
Yeah. So state of origin was it originated back when there wasn't a national league. So it was basically the VFL was like the main competition in like footy.
Yes.
And every state had like their own little competitions, like the waffle and the sample and all that kind of stuff. And then they're just like, we want something that can kind of bring everybody together.
Yes.
More like an exhibition match type
thing. They did. And the first game was between Victoria and WA.
Yes.
I think it was in 87. I might be wrong.
A long time ago.
Yeah. It was
before we existed.
In the 80s. It was in the 80s.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put it on and say 87, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. 84, 87, something like that. I'm not too sure. And then they kind of just did where if you played for a Victorian team, you would be in the Victorian team. if you're playing for a waffle team or a sample team, whatever it is, they'll just pick the players from that. And then I think it eventually kind of moved on to like if you're a Victorian or if you're from Victoria, even if you played for a WA team or a sample team, whatever it was, you got picked into the Victorian team.
And on that front, so we kind of we know what it is.
Yeah.
I want to ask you the big question, the hard hitting question.
Yep.
Do we bring it back?
I think we do. I think it's an interesting.
No,
you don't agree with this, don't you?
No,
Do you?
No.
I think we should bring it back, and I think we should bring it back in a way where it's competitive but entertaining. If that makes sense.
That's challenging.
Yes, I know. So that State of Origin hasn't actually properly been played or exhibited since this turn of this century so far, right? There's been two kind of like random...
The Dream Team game and the Bushfire
appeal game. Yeah, so the Hall of Fame, exactly. So
it.
those two games have been like the only times where they've kind of put together like a Victoria versus... And mostly it's been Victoria versus All-Stars or like a Dream Team, which is like Victoria versus the rest of Australia kind of thing, right?
Much.
So I think it should come back. I think they should scrap this whole 4 or 5 or 6 week bye weeks that they're doing.
Okay.
So if you guys want to do like a 3 week bye week.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I don't know about that. I don't think you can have the last thing. If
you do it like midway through the season, right? And if you put, let's say 9 teams go on bye in 1 week. Or 8 teams or whatever it is. And then you have the State of Origin game in the middle of it. And then the following week, the other half of teams that didn't go on bye. And then the season continues.
Well, I like your idea, but I'm going to target you say first or second argument.
Okay.
Competitive. I'm Carlton. There is no way Patrick Cripps is going anywhere near that State of Origin side to play for All-Stars. I know he's WA, man. There is no way any of my footballers are playing the State of Origin gimmick football.
Why not?
Yeah, so they get injured and then we lose Cripper in the second half of the year. We lose Sam Walsh. We lose Charlie Kono. There's no way.
Okay.
I don't even care. Like, no.
Okay.
The risk of injury too high.
Yeah, but the risk of injury when he plays every game.
Bro, what if he does his hamstring? Oh, my God.
Okay, but what if he does his hamstring in a normal game?
That's fine. That's fine. But
it's
no, it's not
bro.
the same shit.
It is the same shit.
For a game that doesn't matter, look, at
it
least
matters. It's
during
bragging
a
rights.
game, no.
That's what I mean by entertainment, though.
Be bragging rights. I don't care if you're from WA. You play for my club, you play for my club.
Okay.
Footy's a lot less parochial than other sports. Example, I like talking about cricket, but long story short, if you're a cricketer in Victoria, you're very proud. You're a very proud cricketer from Victoria, e.g. Shane Warne. You're a WA cricketer, Adam Gilchrist or Justin Langer. You're very proud to be from your state. You play cricket in your state. You grow up in your state. There's a big domestic league. There's parochialism. None of that exists in footy. It's a national competition. So it doesn't really... There's no passion for your state.
I think it originally started off with that before it became a national league.
Yeah.
Once it became a national league, and I think that's why it kind of died out.
That's why it died.
It was just like, I'm Victorian, but I play in WA, or I'm from New South Wales and I play in South Australia. And that pride in your state kind of died out. But I think more so because, I don't know, from my point of view, and I'm not trying to do marketing for the AFL here, but it's more so like, if you do this, you create a different element. So you see how they brought in Gather Round, and Rivalry Round, and this round. There's a bunch of different rounds that they've named. Just put a title on them. Yeah. It's more so something where you're not there for individual teams. So me and you are both Victorians. Yeah. We both go for Collingwood and Carlton. But when that State of Origin game comes along, we're both on the same team.
Yeah,
we're Victorians now. So we want Victoria to win.
Yep.
So it's more so bringing that different element where it brings different people from different areas of footy together to enjoy the same thing. So it's me and you and every other Victorian versus a bunch of New South Wales people or like Queensland people, a bunch of WA.
Queenslanders.
It's the way in rugby, it's the Maroons versus the Blues.
Yes.
Queenslanders versus New South Wales.
Yeah.
There might be two guys that go for the same team from two different states. But then when State of Origin comes around, it's like my state.
I love that's what the State of Origin in rugby has, right? They've got that rivalry, that hatred.
Regardless of if we support the same team or not in the league, once the State of Origin comes, you're public enemy number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And I feel like that will bring a different element to the state of footy, to the environment of footy, to the world of footy. And it it kind of creates an environment where people are just like, oh, like, I just don't care about Collingwood, or I just don't care about Carlton.
I care about Victoria.
I care about, like, you look forward to it. And it also takes away, like I said, the element of this 4 or 5 weeks of buys that don't make sense.
I agree with you on the buy thing. I think 4 or 5 weeks of buys are ridiculous.
Which is why
but you can just put the buys into 2 weeks. Maybe you give us, even if you give the fans a 2-week break in the middle of the football season, allow us, especially if you go for a toxic football club, 2 weeks off in the middle of the season
just
is
to recalibrate and take a breath.
It's a little bit healthy. So I agree with you on the buy front, but I don't know. Not a fan of the state of origin.
Fair
but
enough.
You know me, I'm very much traditionalist.
Yep.
I don't like change, and even though state of origin was change did exist, but I think we might leave it there. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Should we bring it back? Should we?
I think they discussed bringing it back next year. So I think they're playing a state of origin game, Vic versus WA,
might be right.
in February next year. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. See, that I don't agree with.
Okay.
Playing it at the beginning of the season, I don't agree with, only because the whole injury thing that you're talking about and the whole potentially someone going down. Brother, in the middle of summer, because unfortunately in Victoria, our summer doesn't work like normal places. Yeah. Our summer, it starts in like mid-January and ends in like April for some odd reason. So them playing a charity match or an exhibition match in 30-something degree heat, that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But play it at the end of the season even, or play it mid-season. If a player gets injured mid-season, you have like the whole 12 or whatever weeks it is after that to get that person recovered and get ready, especially if the team's competing for finals.
I know.
Like, that's the concept of why playing at the beginning of the season is the stupidest thing I've heard of. You're just setting up everybody for disaster.
We'll leave that one to the viewers.
Absolutely.
We'll leave that one to the viewers.
Nabil, another topic or another idea around that whole state of origin stuff is the International Rule Series.
I remember that.
Do you want to explain to the viewers what that is?
So it was a combination of AFL and Gaelic football, which is played in Ireland.
Yep.
What used to happen, and to be honest, this concept started way back in the 80s. The Australian Football League, or the AFL or VFL at the time, did a world tour, funnily enough, trying to promote the game into international. Anyways, I think they sort of came up with this concept of international rules. Part of that as well, there's a lot of Gaelic footballers that play Irish footballers that play AFL, Zach Tui, Jim Steins that come to mind, Ty Kennelly as well.
Yep.
And then so at the end of every season, players who were selected in the All-Australian team at least once in their career would go over to Ireland, or they'd come to Australia, vice versa, and they'd play in sort of this international rule series or competition. And it was lots and lots of fun. It was great viewing sort of at the end of the football season.
You kind of almost look forward to it.
It was, and let's talk about the games. Give the people some insight of what it was like.
It was, I think, from memory, because it hasn't happened
in a long time.
For a while now, yeah. it was like a best of 3 game.
Yes.
So there would be 2 test games. If a team was 2-0 up, basically the series is over. And I think there was a point in time when it was 2 games, and they just kind of made it like the aggregate points across the both would win. But the best of 3 was the funnest of all.
It was.
So if they played in Ireland, they would play at a different Gaelic football parks or stadiums.
It was a combination of like footy and soccer
and
in a round ball and rugby.
Yeah, so basically they had the footy goals, and then they had like a soccer goal inside the footy goal.
They had a goalkeeper.
They had a goalkeeper. That was the craziest concept.
Dustin Fletcher was goalkeeper.
Brendan Goddard and Dustin Fletcher were goalkeepers. I just said, this is very interesting to watch. Yes, a couple of old school players. Well, not old school, but I guess they're old school to the newer kids. But yeah, they basically had those games at the end of the footy season, you said. I think it was like after the grand final, like late October, early November or something like that. And at first, everybody was like, well, at least for us, it was just like, what the hell is this?
Watching it is a new concept.
It was just, and because they picked players from the All-Australian team, you knew it was going to be the best players going to be out there.
Yeah. So, that's what you wanted to watch.
Absolutely. So there was a year, I believe, it was like Joel Selwood, Dane Swan, Scott Pendlebury,
there was Betts, I remember
Nat Five, Eddie Betts,
Campbell Brown,
Jack Revolt. Like there was a bunch of guys that were selected, and they kind of went out there and they played the best of 3 games. it was very weird watching AFL players holding a circle ball and running around.
And like bounce it.
Yeah, you kicked it to yourself while you were running. It was some interesting skills, I'll be honest with you.
Take a shot at goal with the goalkeeper and keeper dives.
And I think the score was counted kind of similar to footy, where if you kicked it into the outside, it was 1 point. If you kicked it into the sticks in the middle,
it was 9 in the
it was 3 and 7 or 3 and 9, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is. But it was like almost another form of State of Origin. But it was
cool.
An international version because it was Ireland versus Australia.
There was a rivalry. There was this, it was just like.
Do you remember the fights?
Yes. Oh, Campbell Brown. Anyone who hasn't watched this, I'm talking to camera now. Anyone who hasn't watched,
2004 international series. Go watch that.
Go YouTube it. The fights. They were proper punch-ons, bro.
They were swinging at each other. World Championship boxing matches.
It wasn't just some jumper punch. It was
proper
I'm trying
swings,
to hurt you.
bro.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Again, I don't know if it was like the pride of wearing the Australian jumper was involved, or
a lot of commentary says the Australian players started it.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Have you seen the kangaroos fighting each other? It's probably in our blood. Who knows? I'll be honest with you. It probably is in our blood at this point. But yeah, those fights. So I think the reason why it kind of sort of stopped halfway through the 2000, I think it was because of the fights.
It was just too much violence.
2005-06 was the last time they played it, because they're just like, y'all are just knocking each other out every game.
Too dangerous.
It's turning into a game. It's turning into a boxing exhibition every single time.
They brought it back later on. I think 2013. They sent an Indigenous All Stars team over.
So I think that's the point in which they were trying to like experiment and play around with what type of team they send up there. Was it going to be the All Australian guys they send up there? Was it going to be the best players? Was it going to be an Indigenous All Star team? So since it got stopped in 06 or 7 or whenever it was, it's sporadically been played throughout the last, I think, decade and a half or whatever it's been. And they haven't really locked down like a constant like routine for it.
No.
So it's not like every 2 years or like they'll bring it up this year.
Do you reckon the concept is dead? Gone, buried. We're never going to see International Rules Series again. Done.
Like, okay, so as someone that grew up watching it, I hope not.
Yeah.
But if you brought this up, so like we mentioned before, like we were talking to my little brother about this, and he had no idea what the hell this was. He's like, there was footy players playing with a circle ball. Like it was so confusing to him. So like that generation has no idea what this is, or a lot of that generation probably don't know.
Anyone under 23 probably has no idea what it is.
So I don't know if it'll gauge as much people into watching it if they bring it back now, or if they start doing it now, how much of an audience can they actually drag in? I don't know. Do I think it should die? Absolutely not. Or, you know what, honestly,
I'm all for it.
I'll go back to the conversation we had about State of Origin. Bring back one of the two.
Yeah, okay.
Either bring back State of Origin.
Just give us more content.
Yeah, just give us something where we can see all the good players just get onto the field and do something together. Yeah, so I think either bring back State of Origin.
Or Gaelic or something. You want to see the best players play in one team.
Or even with the international series, do it every second year or some shit. You know? Yeah. So if you guys are like, we can't, accommodate.
Look, I don't have any information here. This is just a theory that I have developed. So I hope I don't get any backlash for this. I don't think the AFL Players Association will be a fan of this. Because the AFL, this is my opinion, by the way, there's no information. The AFL Players Association have been advocating for longer breaks for footballers in the off-season. So they're already at wars with the clubs and at war with the AFL, at war with everyone.
Yep.
They want players to have downtime because football is such a long season. They want players to have time off because pre-season start quite early now. Yeah. So I don't know if the AFL Players Association will get on board and say, all right, we'll jump on this and want to be involved in more concepts. The players might be. I know the players have been receptive to State of Origin.
Yeah, especially.
So they have been receptive to that. But whether that translates to more content for the AFL, or the AFL's got to... The AFL Players Association will be a fan. Again, my opinion.
The thing is, I agree with you, but I think not only the Players Association, not agreeing or not really being a fan of this, and this is a conversation maybe we'll have another time, but I think the idea of shortening the actual AFL season fixture will fix a lot of problems. And AFL, I have a concept for you, and I think you guys will like this, but that's a conversation for another time. But genuinely, I think if they shorten the actual AFL season, they won't have all these extra problems that you're bringing up.
That's an interesting one. Again,
so
I have so many thoughts, but
leave this for another time. But yeah, so I think they should think something around this, bring up the idea, play around, do whatever you want, bro. Just bring us more entertaining shit. That's all we want.
Moving on.
And talking about finals, we're moving forward and we're looking forward to this final series and week 1 of the finals, which is coming up this weekend, Nabil.
Yes, this first game of the round on Thursday night. We've got the Adelaide Crows and the Collingwood Magpies at the Adelaide Oval.
Fun.
I know you have plenty to say on this one, so I'll let you kickstart us off.
I have plenty to say. I just don't know how I feel about this. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right, you want me to start then?
I'll start.
All right.
The one thing I can say, Adelaide have won 1 out of the last 10 or 11 meetings we've had.
Yes.
Collingwood love this whole back against the wall underdog, like we're, a good team that we can show up and play. Like they love it when everybody doubts them and thinks, oh, these guys are not going to deliver. These guys are going to be plastered. A couple of weeks ago, we played Adelaide in Adelaide.
Yes.
We only lost by 3 points. Again, I'm blaming it on
and the umpires.
The umpires too, but I don't think the umpires were actually... No, I lied. The umpires were horrible. Our long kicking, our inefficiency inside 50, our inaccuracy, all that shit that I've been talking about. The one good thing that I can bring up is Adelaide's clearance work is horrible.
Yes.
And our clearance work hasn't been the greatest, but for some reason, when it comes to big games, we turn up for that shit.
Yes,
I don't know what Craig McRae does to Collingwood when they need to do that shit, but they turn up and they play well. So I'm hoping we play well. I'm hoping, even if we lose, I just hope we play well. Honestly,
yeah, okay.
I'll be like,
you're okay with losing then?
No, I'm not okay with losing, but I'm saying if we're gonna lose,
we want some.
I actually want, I want it to be like a less than a kick kind of loss. At least I can justify our season at that point. You know what I'm saying? We could have sat comfy at the top of the ladder for X amount of time, and then we lose. What's it called? We go out in straight sets like you've been calling it. So I'm hoping that we do well.
So Collingwood to win.
Who do you have to win?
I hate to say it. I hate saying this, but I do think Collingwood will win. I think the Crows without Rankin and the Crows without Rochelle, especially Rankin, to be honest, I think Collingwood will win. Don't get me wrong. You'll
celebrate us losing as if Carlton
I hope you guys lose. I truly hope you guys lose, but you're asking for my tip.
Yeah.
I think you guys will actually beat Adelaide. I think you played well enough the first time.
Yeah.
I think there's something like 60% of Collingwood members were able to get tickets.
Yeah, it's sold out.
It's sold out. There's going to be a big Collingwood contingent. So I don't even think it'll feel like an Adelaide Crows home game.
Yeah.
So I think you guys will win. And I hate myself for saying that.
I actually think I'm the opposite of you. I don't have any expectations. I have hope. So I think Adelaide will win.
Okay.
And I'll be realistic enough, or I'll set my hopes and expectations low enough that if it goes sideways, I'm not disappointed. But if it happens, it's great. So I think Adelaide will win.
Let the emotions feel them at, I don't know, then you just turn into a Carlton supporter.
That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid.
Have you keep them down and be surprised.
The next game is the big blockbuster on Friday night.
At the MCG.
The Cats versus the Lions.
I think Geelong will get the job done comfortably.
Really?
I like Geelong.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Don't get me wrong. They belted us many times in the 2000s, but so is every other team.
Yeah.
So I think Geelong, their form is they're travelling well. They're in form. Yes, they've beaten some average teams, but against Brisbane, both teams are seasoned. Both teams are finals teams. Both teams are played in big games. They're not afraid of the moments.
Both teams have won the last 2 out of 3 premierships. So
I think Geelong will get the job done.
I reckon the Lions will.
Ooh.
I think their
recent
record over Geelong, their record away, they've broken and destroyed that voodoo of not being able to play at the MCG. Since that 23 grand final now. Just their form, the way their team, I think they'll get Lockie Neal back. They'll get a couple of their injured stars back. I think Geelong's last couple of weeks of the season playing against lower level teams per se, and not having like that great exposure against like strong teams, and kind of just cruising through playing lower or bottom side teams. I think that'll low-key come back to haunt
Okay,
them.
I see that. I see that.
It's also part of me hoping just Geelong lose, to be honest.
Geelong
but yeah, for that
slander.
reason, exactly that.
I say that.
For that reason, I actually think what's
Geelong.
it called? Brisbane will get over the
Okay,
line and Geelong will lose. And then that moves us to the first of the two elimination finals on Saturday.
NG Stadium, we've got GWS Giants versus the Hawthorn Hawks.
Yep. We both have strong opinions on
yeah,
this
we
one,
do.
don't we?
I hate Hawthorn. I hate it. I'll put it on the record. I've been hating on them for a while. I'll keep hating for them until the end of the season.
He told you lot. I'm not apologizing.
Not apologizing. So I hate to admit, again, I think they're going to get the job done.
Ooh,
don't get me wrong. My dislike for Hawthorn is clear, but equally as my dislike for Hawthorn. Maybe not as much as I hate Collingwood, but I still think they'll beat the Giants. I think they play well.
You hate Hawthorn. You think, or you don't. I think I
dislike Hawthorn.
Yeah, your feelings in terms of what you think.
Not like Collingwood, but I'll put my feelings aside and just.
And I've for a long time said GWS are a very inconsistent team. They turn up when they feel like it. They don't turn up when they feel like it. If you're asking me who I think is going to win,
yes,
I couldn't tell you. But because it's a Giants home game, I'm just going to go with the Giants safely, only because I've seen Hawthorn literally shoot themselves in the foot. Against Brisbane, they did it. Against Adelaide, they did it.
Yeah, they did
so there's a couple of teams that they've played where they kind of haven't performed and disappeared. So for that reason being, it's a big final. I think Hawthorn have more experience in finals than... Giants have more experience.
Finals.
Yeah, finals season than...
Yeah, they've played in plenty of finals.
So in the last couple of years. So I actually think for that reason, the Giants will get over the line.
I just like the Hawks. I think in finals anyway, I think in this game... They were there last year, the Hawks, so that experience should assist them. Because finals are different.
They are.
And the last game, the Fremantle Dockers and the Gold Coast Suns.
I'll be honest with you, this game just looks like a comedy show to me.
Oh, you're kidding.
Like, I couldn't take... genuinely, if you at the beginning of the season told me the first week of finals, Freo and Suns will be playing each other, I would have laughed. It's just a game I don't like. I don't see how it even came to be honest.
Okay.
That's what I think about it. In terms of who I think is actually going to get over the line, again, I'm just going with Freo because it's a home game to them. Gold Coast's record away from home is horrendous.
I'm going to give you a hot take. Not even a hot take. I think the Suns will win, and the Suns are going to go on to win the premiership.
That's more than a hot take.
I'm going in with this. I think Dima Hardwick is a premiership coach. The pieces are there. I'm going as far as saying Suns to win the first week, and they'll go on and win their first flag. I'm standing by that.
Burning inferno take. That's not a hot take.
No. I'm standing on that. I think the Suns, I want to see this. It's a take. I'll stand on it.
Fair enough. Like I said, I don't think the Suns will win. I said it a couple of weeks ago.
You've been saying it,
I said even if they make the finals, they won't win it. I think Freo, especially the way they played against the Bulldogs, Freo, and even before that Brisbane lost, a couple of the 8 or 9 weeks of football that they played was great. And they performed and they delivered. So for that reason being, and the fact that it's in Perth, Gold Coast's horrible record travelling, I think Freo will get over the line.
Get the job done.
They'll be in the semi-finals to play one of the two losers from the top 4 games. And
that brings us to an end. So
before we finish up, we forgot something. Our weekly quiz.
Yes,
of Who Am I?
Quiz. Okay.
So people are getting around this pretty well now, and they're kind of getting the idea of it, and they're throwing comments and but their answers into our comment sections. Last week's player was
Eddie Betts.
Absolutely. So the clues for this week's player, and I'll read them out to you guys now, and hopefully we can get some answers. I think this is going to be a bit of a tricky one. I played for one Victorian team. I played over 300 games. I have 5 All-Australians. I'm a legend of my club, and I've won a record 7 best and fairest at that club. Let us know who you guys think that is. Throw your answers in the comments. Like, this is one where it involves actually answering. So don't just like it and keep
Make
moving.
sure you
answer it. Let us know. Tell us what you think. We'll respond to you guys.
We'll give you a shout out next week if you answer it.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you actually guess it, we'll give you a
first
shout out.
First person we see on socials who answers it, we'll give you a shout out. With
first
your
3,
social.
actually. We'll make it first 3.
All right.
But yeah, I think that wraps us up for this week in the Bill.
That's all right.
It's had a lot of fun.
Lots of fun.
We've talked about everything from footy to non-footy.
One of my favorite episodes, this one.
We've had a lot, just a lot to get through. And that brings us to an end. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Ciao.